Hey guys, what's up? Coming to you today with a video about the new iPhones that came out today. They were announced by Apple out in California today on Tuesday, September 10th. Now before I start, I want to start by saying if you've been following my videos recently, you probably have noticed that the last video was the follow-up to my previous Apple iPhone rumors for this fall. And obviously I haven't done a video between the last rumor video and this video, which is the actual announcements of what came out today. I just want to say I'm not an Apple fanboy in any way, so just don't get that connotation about me because I'm not. I actually had an outline made up for a Nexus 5 rumor video, and I just got busy with classes and stuff, and I didn't have time to make it. But that's beside the point. So let's get into it. iOS 7 is the next iteration of iOS. It's coming out September 18th. It was obviously announced today. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the features and everything because you've probably already seen them all, honestly. And if you want to see them, I did do a video on them back when WWDC happened, and I did a rundown of the features back then. So, the iPhone 5C, it replaces the iPhone 5. I had heard that at first, but I didn't take much thought into that rumor. Basically, you're not going to be able to buy the regular iPhone 5 anymore. It's going to be the iPhone 4S, which is only going to be available in the 8GB model. It'll be free on contract, which is nice, but that's the lowest end. And after that, you can get the 5C or the 5S. And so I'm going to start by talking about the 5C. The 5C is going to be the lower end model of this year's new models, and it's going to be 16GB, $99, and 32GB, $199, both of course with a 2-year contract. In terms of colors, you can get it in blue, white, red, green, or yellow. Now really, it was billed as the cheap iPhone when it was rumored, and yes it is and yes it's not. Let me explain. Basically, it is on the cheaper end of the price scale, so if you don't want to spend as much on a 5S, you can get the 5C for a cheaper price point. However, it's not necessarily cheaper built. It's got all the same internals as the iPhone 5 has, and did at this point. Same camera, a little bit bigger battery actually, but it has the same processor and the same camera like I said. So it's really the same on the inside, it's just plastic on the outside and it comes in different colors. So the people that are jumping to cheap iPhone, you just got to read into it more than that because it's got nice features. It's just literally cheaper. It's not cheaper made. So let's get that straight. Now the iPhone 5S comes in 3 models. Like I said, the 5C does not come in 64GB variation, but the 5S, like all the higher end iPhones have come in so far, comes in 16GB, 32GB, and 64GB, and those prices on contract are $199, $299, and $399 respectively, as you would probably expect. Now, the 5S obviously doesn't come in a bunch of colors like the 5C, so if you want colors, obviously you're going to go with the 5C. 5S does come in the normal black, the normal white, and a gold, champagne type of gold. Google it, look at Apple's mock-ups of it. Now, one of the biggest upgrades has to do with the processing, and it's a big thing. Basically, the 5S has a new processor called the Apple A7. The iPhone 5 had the A6 processor, which was really fast, but it was 32-bit. If you're familiar with operating systems like computers and everything, you'll know that 32-bit is on the lower end of the computing spectrum. The iPhone 5S is going to be the first smartphone, yes, the first smartphone, this is big, with a 64-bit operating system, however you ever want to look at it. iOS 7 is built on that, but obviously that only applies to the 5S because it's the only one with the processor that can handle it. And again, that's the Apple A7 processor. The processor, just to put this in perspective for you, if you know the mechanics of processors and everything, it has seriously 1 billion transistors inside. That's crazy. I mean, that's how it can handle the 64-bit architecture of the OS. Graphics are 56% faster. So basically, that is helped by many different things. CPU is 40% faster, and both of those improvements are influenced by the addition of a new part, and that's the M7 processor. And I assume the M stands for motion because what they said, it's a coprocessor, but it's a motion coprocessor. So no longer does your main CPU in your phone, your iPhone, have to handle all the gyroscope and the accelerometer and everything like that. It doesn't have to handle all those animations and computations for those. That's handled by the M7 now. Now, the battery is going to be, I'd say, marginally improved. The 5S is going to have around 10 hours on LTE browsing or just video playback offline. You know, if you add the streaming, that's of course going to take extra battery life off that. But in standby mode, you're going to get around 250 hours, which is pretty good. But who leaves their iPhone in standby anyway? The camera is going to be upgraded. As you remember, the iPhone 5 had an 8 megapixel camera, and it looks like the iPhone 5S is going to have around an 8 megapixel camera. They didn't say exactly how many megapixels it was going to have, but they did say that they're no longer going to try and stuff megapixels in, as how they put it, instead of upgrading the megapixels, because that doesn't always help your picture quality. Phones like the Galaxy S4 have nice pictures, but that can only get you so far. So what they've done is made the pixels themselves bigger. So I believe they said it's like 1.5 times the size of a normal pixel. So this will allow also for a bigger sensor, which will take a wider array of pixels from what I can understand. So it'll be around the same, but it'll definitely improve the quality. The touch sensor is what everybody was talking about. It's the biometric scanner built into the home button, and basically there's a ring around it, which you'll see in the 5S. If you see a 5S, and that's the ring that you see around the home button is the detector, and basically that detects when you got your finger on there and you're ready to scan. It can detect it in any way, so if you're holding your phone upside down, you can unlock your phone with the scanner. Now, like I said in my last video, it is going to have other applications besides just unlocking your phone, perhaps credit card apps, banking apps, things like that, things that require a little extra security, or maybe any app that wants to incorporate that into their APIs, and so on. Now, like I said, the 5S you can pre-order on September 13th. You can pre-order it online so that you have it by the actual release date, basically, is what that serves you for. However, the 5S has basically been nulled for pre-order. So basically you can't pre-order the 5S. If you want it on September 20th, which is the official Apple release date, you pretty much have to go to a physical store, an Apple store or a carrier store, whichever you want. You have to be physically there in line with all the people waiting in line for the phone, and you have to wait and get it physically on that day. Otherwise, you can order it from Apple supposedly that day online, but you obviously will not get it until a later date. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. If you have any questions for me, hit me up in the comments below. I watched the keynote, so I probably can answer any questions. I didn't want to go into too much detail in this video, but if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.